Nextdoor comments. The final comment I'll read comes from a post about Cortadito not knowing how to use my points. It's the kind of thing that the internet has been capable of offering prompt help to for decades, but yet when I get specific local help, it still surprises me. It was really nice to get these Cortadito points replies in Weehawken. That's the final one. So in a moment of history when content moderation is headlines, the boss of Telegraph has been arrested in France. The EU is threatening legal action against the Elon Musk company. And France has banned X. And Facebook isn't in the headlines now, but it is on and off on the same topic, content moderation. And I'm sure somewhere in the defense of these tech companies, their lawyers are going to say, it's just not possible given the size, the magnitude, whatever. But Nextdoor does it, and I'm able to get the kind of comments I'll read next. Omier Gamboa Acosta, 24, was shot and killed. I posted what I knew about it, some from the media and some from a friend. And the comments came from Keith, unfortunately, already reported through Nextdoor. From Keith, Elizabeth writes, I appreciate seeing this. Thank you very much. Saddened to hear this and appreciate more detail given it's in the neighborhood. And Claudia writes, thanks for the info. Not even Weehawken is exempt from crime on the streets. How sad. Glad bystanders didn't get hit, as they often do in Manhattan. Be safe. I was in Manhattan in Chinatown in a NYPL. My wife was getting her hair cut, and I found this lovely Chinatown library, and I just posted a picture and said NYPL. Keith writes, how are you doing? Keith, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. I had a series of posts about the fair holiday. NJT, New Jersey Transit, with the orders of the governor, went with no fares for 8 days. And I traveled on NJT every one of those 8 days. Now, some of those 8 days I would have traveled on NJT anyways, but I explored much of the system. Some alone for the first couple of days, and then I think my wife joined me for the remaining 6 days. We had a great time, and I wrote about it every day. So Yari writes, yes, Tom, we know, like duh, everybody knows about the fair holiday. Then Yari writes again, there's still people getting on the bus that don't know about the free service until the driver says so. I saw people who didn't know as well. And then Fabiola writes, happy to know, thanks for sharing. And just this, who knows and who doesn't, and people are paying even though it's free. It was announced in haste, and the word spread very quickly. I was on a university campus at Rutgers, and I asked the students I think 5 of them were sitting near me, and I asked them, they all knew. I said, can you imagine a student not knowing? And it was hard for them to imagine, but the social network of students is a little more active than, because they're sharing something, and usually living on campus and away from family, and their whole intimate social network changes. So they couldn't imagine a student not knowing, and I bet it would have been harder to find a student that didn't know than the comments here from Yari and Fabiola. So I wrote about the mass shooting in Georgia. It was the first school shooting of the school year, and it happened like the second day the gunman, was in school. I'm making an effort to try to forget the gunman and pay a little bit more attention to the victims. So Mason and Christian were 14 at time of death, which is the same age as the gunman. Now he's alive, they're dead. Mason is black, and Christian is white. The tributes to these two boys are generous, and thinking of them is tragic. Then Christina and Richard are were teachers, dead at the hands of a 14-year-old with a A15. Tragic. I wrote about this, probably multiple posts, and from Leah, the mother of Sandy Hook's shooter was totally aware that he suffered from serious mental health issues, yet she taught him to shoot, gave him his own rifle, and enrolled him in target practice because he enjoyed it, was good at it, and the discipline helped him focus mentally and calm him. And this is news to me. That sounds like it would have been a case where the parent might have been held accountable, as they are being held today. The second one with the Georgia shooting, the first one with the Crumblies in Michigan. And finally, the replies to Cortadito points. Now, amigos, amigas, the listeners, these comments are no big deal unless you understand the context. You just imagine you're kind of like you have limited common language with the cashier, the cajeras, and it's a busy place. You don't want to stand there and say, how do I get my points? Especially someone my age or older. We'd sound like the angry old men. So, okay, privately, maybe I could kind of whisper someone, hey, how do I get my points? Because suddenly I somehow managed to get $5 worth of points. But I can't tell if so those came to me in a surprise. So I write about this, thinking that I'd attach it to my receipt along with a 5-star review, and maybe Cortadito would reply. Well, of course Cortadito did not reply, but Jim, Ione again, and Marilyn replied. And these were prompt and helpful. I got 2 websites. I haven't been to Cortadito since, but I am going to try them when I do go. So here they are. Jim writes, I never get my points there either. The wait staff doesn't know how to do it, and they're not very friendly. Jim, I found they are friendly, but I'm sure it's a hit and miss kind of thing. They are busy. That place is crazy popular, and there's not a lot of room behind the counter. Not really friendly, so I just stopped going. It's a shame because the food is really good. The prices are fair, but I believe there's another one up in the 70s, and I'll try, and maybe the wait staff will know how to do it. That's a great idea, Jim. You could learn at another location, and then you routinely get your points at Weehawken. Yvonne, that's a V, Ivonne, Yvonne, I think. She writes twice. After you pay on the tablet, it will ask you for your number. Each time you pay with a different card, it will add that card to your account. If you don't get a text, you can ask the staff to add your number. Interesting. You can download the Local by Toast app and visit toastapp.com and see your rewards. Hello? That was Yvonne. Yvonne, I want to pronounce that like a Spanish name that traces to Spain through generations, but there's a double N, so I don't know what to do with that name. Polonia is I think that's a Spanish word for Poland. Wherever your name traces to, and however I'm mispronouncing it, your comment is, I think, helpful. I haven't tried it yet. And then Marilyn writes, hello, you can download and then here's a link here for the app for Cortaditos. From there, you can, from there you can sign up and log in to see your rewards. The app also gives you the ability to scan a code and earn points every time you buy. So I think what I got out of this is the websites that I haven't tried yet, I will try. But Yvonne's, maybe that's Yvonne? Yvonne, I think it could be as simple as if I get a text receipt, then I got my points. Because I have more than 0 points. I got $5 a point, so that must mean the system recognizes my phone number. And now I've got these apps that I can check to see if that's valid. So anyways, this was incredible.